Greetings, everyone, and welcome to a Super 7 Days of Reveals edition of the FwooshCast. And once again, I am very, very happy to say that we have Mr. Brian Flynn from Super 7 itself here to chat with us about all of the craziness that you guys revealed over the past week, which made not going to Toy Fair this time of year a lot more bearable.
Yeah, we're trying to make a digital Toy Fair for everybody. Yeah. Here's all the stuff you would have been like, they're going to do what?
Yeah. Well,
now it's showing up in your Instagram feed instead of having to log into a group someplace to see it.
Right. And that's kind of been the mode of the past week, I would say, because if I thought, a week and a half ago, I'd be sitting across from you talking about everything from Bruce Lee to Powell and Peralta to Parks and Rec to Disney to Roger. You guys took the gloves off over the past week, sir.
I guess. I don't know. All of this stuff is then, we're like, we've been talking about this for a year.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, nobody else knows that we've been talking about it.
Well, the cats are out of the proverbial bag. And since I know that you are busy chatting with a lot of people over the next couple of days, I want to be respectful of time. So if you're good, let's just get right into it.
Let's jump into it. What do you want to talk about first?
Well, I have your lovely website already to pull up because I've got to just keep everything straight. And I was thinking that maybe we'll start kind of right from the beginning with one. I guess they all kind of caught me off guard, but one that really got me was you guys announced that you are heading into both the Ultimates and the ReAction world with none other than the legendary Mr. Bruce Lee.
Yeah, obviously, I think for everybody growing up, you're like, Bruce was the coolest. Like Enter the Dragon was one of my favorite movies. And we're not even talking about Enter the Dragon yet. We're still working on some of the earlier, or if in case you want to talk about technically released later, Game of Death, even though it was filmed before Enter the Dragon.
Uh-huh.
What am I saying? I just said that, and that's not true. Like he died during Game of Death. Like I'm going too fast here. But, we're saving Enter the Dragon for a little bit later. But, yeah, I mean, Bruce is great. Bruce is one of those icons. And, a couple of people have done Bruce figures lately, and we wanted to do our take on Bruce. We're definitely working on some other stuff with it and just trying to have some fun with it.
Yeah.
If you want to fight Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Chuck Norris, this is what you need.
Well, and that's what I was going to ask you about. Now, these are being presented as Bruce Lee figures. Is that kind of where your license is with him individually, or does that extend to his movies as well?
The reality is the rights with the movies are very convoluted in a lot of ways because the people that made them in Hong Kong have been bought and rebought over the years. And there's a lot of no one really knows who owns certain things. As far as Bruce and Bruce's estate, they know they own Bruce,
right,
and what Bruce is doing. So that's why you pretty much see Bruce as he is. It's not to say we're not trying to get some of the other stuff, but right now I can't say this is Bruce from Game of Death.
Right.
But if you've seen Game of Death, you know what Bruce in a yellow jumpsuit means.
It's not like it's not iconic or anything, right?
Exactly. So, there's a sort of a fine line you walk there right now. And, we're trying to dig into it more and see if there's other places you can get, like, the alley scene here.
Yeah.
From Way of the Dragon, where he's fighting with the nunchucks with everybody. I mean, such a classic fight scene, and Bruce looks great. And that's actually it's hard to tell in here because it looks almost plasticky, but that is soft goods for the tank top.
Yeah, that's it was funny when I was looking at these pictures and I was like, oh, okay, I read that was soft goods, but the amount of I guess textural detail that you guys put on the pants too. At first I was looking, I was like, are those pants cloth too? It's like, no, they just really look like cloth. So that's cool.
They look like cloth. Exactly.
Yeah. So Ultimates are up right now, and it's kind of going after the iconic things, that everybody kind of knows Bruce by here at the beginning, but you teased ReAction as well. I have a feeling, knowing kind of your pattern with ReAction, there's probably going to be some things that we will expect and probably not expect on those ReAction terms, right?
Yeah, we're really, we've got some cool stuff going on there as well. Obviously, this is meant to be the first of several waves. So I think we're going to get into some nooks and crannies that people will be, not that they're not going to be excited about this, but they'll also be excited about some of the deeper cuts that we get into.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, these are one of the things that are available right now. And I'm excited to be able to, have Bruce fight along the Ninja Turtles, or even Conan or Toxie too. So
exactly. Bruce versus Arnold. Now you can do it.
I don't think any of us will survive the intensity of that fight. So I'm looking forward to it in plastic. We'll say that.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Well, to keep it going. Okay. So this is one this one surprised me, but it really shouldn't, because I know this is just a bit of a teaser, and I'm dying to kind of see and figure out just what directions you'll be going with this. But I figure that we could probably talk about this one for about 3 hours by itself, with maybe the things that are probably going through your mind with this license, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're, sculpts are already done on all this stuff, and it's going, but obviously growing up in skateboarding, you'd be hard pressed to find a more iconic skate brand than Powell Peralta.
Yep.
They had arguably, as a whole, as an aggregate, the best team, both in freestyle, street skating, and vert. Their graphics were unified. By the time you get to like sort of 84, they're in some degree 83, their graphic vernacular is really tight. Everybody's stuff all fit together perfectly. And, it's just really interesting. I mean, typically when people do skateboarding product, though, it always kind of comes off kind of corny. So, I don't want to give it away yet. We got, people have to wait to see it, but we found sort of an interesting back door into how to make toys of this stuff that isn't exactly what people would be expecting, and that unifies it as a group. And I think it's going to be really, really cool and a lot of fun for people. I know for me, as a lifelong skateboarder and avid skateboard collector, this is definitely one of those passion projects. I think it also will resonate with people that grew up just like I did. But it's just, let's go make some cool, fun stuff. Like, let's not overthink it. Let's not go crazy. Let's just have some fun with it. And this is one that we've been working on for a very long time. And I can't even remember right now, but I don't think it actually hits stores till May or June.
Okay. Well,
so we've got a little ways to go, but
that's getting back into the season. That's getting back into the season, at least around here, where you can actually get out and skate, since it's, cold, it's, what around here. But, I think I'm, like I said, and how you've described, the realization of this into toys is fun. But by and large, I'm not a mint on card collector. You guys make it hard for me sometimes, especially with the ReAction stuff. But I got to imagine that the cards and the art and everything you'll be using for this has been almost as fun as coming up with the toy concepts, right?
Yeah, I think the card backs are very emotional.
Yeah.
I'll just put it that way.
All right. So we're talking May to June for that, and this is a ReAction.
I believe so, and yeah, it's a ReAction line, and we're planning out. Right now we've got theoretically 4 waves of product. So
wow.
We're going to be making it for a while.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to this, and looking around for some wall space around here, because I have a feeling that, like some boards that they're going to go nicely hung up on the wall, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if it's something that you grew up on, I think you'll find it extremely exciting. If it's not, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's fine.
If it's not for you, that's cool. But it's not like you guys didn't like run the gamut of things that would appeal to a lot of people. And Critical Role is an exciting one because there are certain properties that I think, you know, have been talked about, and it's like, oh man, Super7 should get in on this. But the role-playing aspect of this one is really exciting, and it's one that I'm very interested to see where you guys take this, because this is another ReAction line, right?
Yeah, this is a ReAction line, and you know, obviously we're working with Critical Role on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Critical Roles are really, you know, they're, first off, they're really nice people.
Yeah.
And it's nice to work with nice people. You know, my daughter's really gotten into playing D&D.
Mm-hmm.
Her and her friends have a weekend game. It's also very interesting to watch them play D&D, because you know, you have your mind about how you played it. And I remember a couple weekends ago, after I picked her up after her weekend game, and I was like, what did you do? And she's like, oh, we all ran around stealing vegetables. You know, and it's like, you know, you can make, you know, D&D, you can make it anything you want to be. And it's like, oh, wow. Like, that was never my mindset. It was also like, what am I going to go fight and kill?
Right.
How much gold did I get? You know, or whatever. And, you know, it's everything. And so with Critical Role, you know, they've created their own world within it. And it was just one of those things where they're really nice, and we thought it would be a lot of fun to work with them on something. So we put together a line of figures for them, and I think people will dig it. They're a lot of fun. We're making stuff from the original Mighty Nine to start. And I think, like I said, I think people are going to enjoy it. I think this is fall. This will come out in fall, I think.
Okay. Well, it's an interesting one, because these are all voice actors that are just taking their shared hobby and passion, and it's become this huge thing. So I can't imagine having something that is a hobby of mine and that I've created, then all of a sudden have its own line of action figures. That's got to be a lot of fun for them too, I would say.
I think so. You know, they, like I said, it's been a lot of fun to work on. You know, they've got their new animated show that just hit on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're going crazy, but I think people, like I said, if this is your world, and this is the thing, obviously we're going to talk about a lot of different announcements. You know, like everybody's got their thing that they're into, and I'm not trying to be everything to everybody, but
right.
I don't expect people to buy everything we make. Like, I'm making this for these people that work here, or this thing that I'm interested in, and then this thing will be for these people, and this thing is for these people. Like, it doesn't have to be all things to all people all times. And I don't know, Critical Role is just a super cool, fun one to do.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun, and I know it's one. I learned that I have a lot of friends who are big Critical Role fans, and I didn't realize that until this was announced, and it would start to come out in some conversation about this. So I think it's cool to, you know, have something that is so steeped in a rich history like D&D, but it's new and fresh, and it's fun, like the way that they present it. So this is an exciting one that you said you believe is set for fall, correct?
Yes, I believe it's going to be late summer, early fall.
Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that for sure. But I mean, you guys, the hits just kept coming, and this was, you know, it's funny. I was kind of a big fan of Laika without really knowing it at first, but should have probably recognized, since their studio kind of has a feel to it with all of the movies and things that they produce. But this is a big one in terms of variety, and kind of in that you know, sect of animation that doesn't exist in a lot of places anymore, but they've been able to create a lot of iconic movies and characters. And I know some of the things have been done before, but it's like I get excited thinking about, you know, the direction and spin that you guys are going to be taking with it, right?
Yeah, and you know, some stuff has been made before, especially, I mean, there's an implication very easily to which property we're going to start with, how the X is made. But we're going to try to do something a little different, something that, you know, people, you know, you don't need the same thing you already have. Let me give you something that you haven't seen before. So there's one product for this year and then some more product for next year. But the one that's coming out this year is a really, really special item. And I think, like I said, if you're one of those people, I think you're going to really, really like it. It's a bit unexpected, I think, and I think it'll be a lot of fun.
My daughter,
Like, how can we be more vague?
well,
You know?
my daughter has recently gotten into, maybe the tease here, but the way that you're talking about it is that it sounds like you may be doing different types of executions for the things that you do under this overall Laika umbrella with some of the various products that you guys put forth. Are you kind of expanding it out to multiple things? Is this just a reaction piece like some of the others?
This is not a reaction piece.
Not a reaction. Okay. Oh,
It's not reaction. At least not yet.
yeah.
At least not yet. All right. No, it's so weird to be able to say like, hey, we're teasing something, but I'm not going to tell you what it is, but let's talk about it. It's a really beautiful toy, and I think people will be very, very excited. But if you're a fan of that movie,
Mm-hmm.
I think you will be like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't want to, obviously we don't want to get too deep in something that you have a plan for in terms of announcement and whatnot, but that's definitely something to think about, because now I'm thinking beyond that reaction scope and maybe getting some ideas. So
yeah, it's I mean, they make beautiful, beautiful movies, and the character design and everything is just great. So
yeah. Well, so if we can talk about the one that actually made me audibly say a word that is probably not appropriate for everybody, it was this one, because I've been with your Misfit stuff and your Descendant stuff and some of your other music stuff for a long time, but I gotta tell you, based off of music videos and things alone, I cannot believe this one, and my head hasn't stopped when thinking about the possibilities of Beastie Boys times reaction at this point now.
yeah, I mean, we've been back and forth working on this particular license now for, I don't know, I think we first started talking to these guys like 4 or 5 years ago.
Wow.
It's been a very, very slow process. And I'm not saying that negatively. I'm just saying, they've made a couple toys in the past, and they had a lot of concerns originally about making sure that if they made stuff, it wouldn't be construed as trying to rip off the fans or take advantage of people or different things. And it just slowly worked its way around. And, we've got, as you said, there's so many different things. Like, I can probably think of, 40 different figures that you could make from these guys. So, we're starting with a couple really great ideas, and then we're going to see where it goes from there. And, there's going to be definitely with this license a bit of prove to me how rad it is. Like, we've got to get a couple things out, and then we're all in agreement there. And hopefully if that goes, then we can get a couple more. So it's not going to be a fast moving license, but there's a couple things coming out this year. And assuming that those do well, and the response and feedback the band gets from fans, that people love them, then hopefully we'll be able to do more. Because, quite honestly, I'm like we could do a gazillion things.
Well, I think most people up to a certain age have that one music video that when they saw it for the first time, it was like nothing was the same after that. There were definitely a lot of those in the 80s and whatnot, but the Sabotage video came out when I was in high school, and I think that completely like changed my entire life with just how amazing and cool and crazy a video can be. So I know you got your plans, but boy, that's a big one for me.
You're talking about Vic Polfari?
Oh, and Cochise and everybody else.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Vic Polfari.
Well,
Yeah.
that's exciting, and it definitely
Keith
got that.
Allegre.
Yeah. It got that record some play this week after not having listened to it for a little bit. So I'm excited. So I'm hoping that it proves to them as the band and the fans as well that there's going to be some cool shit that can happen with this, because as you said, 40 figures easy.
Yeah, and you know, to their credit, they're very, very selective about what they do, because they hold their fans with such reverence that they don't want to come off whack.
Right.
You know?
And I think that's the perfect way to describe it. Absolutely. Well, I'm excited to see this. I'm excited to see how it grows too. I think that's one of the fun things about a license that doesn't necessarily have stuff coming out constantly, is just kind of seeing the progression as it kind of grows based off of, you know, how it's presented and whatnot. So I'm ready for these guys, and I can't wait.
You and me both.
And speaking of another band, I think that was important to me is this was, I keep saying this was another one that was like, whoa, but I got some real Muppet appreciation over here. And you guys starting with the Electric Mayhem. Well, I say starting with, you guys going with the Electric Mayhem for this is, it seems like a good match, Super7 and the Electric Mayhem.
Yeah, definitely. You know, when you start talking about the Muppets, there's a lot of obvious places for a lot of people to go. And I was straight to like, oh no, Dr. Teeth.
Yeah.
Oh, we got, you know, Animal. Obviously, everybody loves Animal, but, you know, Animal almost exists outside of the vernacular of the Electric Mayhem. But, you know, it's that same thing as like, you know, what do we want to make from these licenses? And as we started going into the Muppets, I was like, first things first, we got to get Electric Mayhem.
Yeah.
I want Dr. Teeth. I want to go there. Like that sort of 1970s, you know, rock and roll funk, post hippie, push pin style thing. Like we got to be in with that. So, you know, there's a lot of ideas around what we can be doing for Muppets. I mean, obviously the Muppets just go deep as deep gets.
Yeah.
But, you know, for us, it was like, okay, first things first, Electric Mayhem.
Well, you know, I think they're kind of the quintessential example of, you know, the Muppets and Jim Henson of things being so on the nose, but then also being so nuanced in how they're presented. And, you know, it's no surprise that I think that their music catches on and are earworms for people even more than, you know, non-Muppet music goes out there. So this is another one. I've been singing some things, and I can tell you, I can picture that. So I'm excited for them.
Glad you're excited. Yeah, you know, obviously, you know that we're going to go through all this stuff, and to a degree, we're purposely showing you some, you know, out there, you know, or some divergent stuff. You know, if you know, like, I don't want to be trying to sell you another set of turtles every week. I mean, that at a certain point, there's only so many turtles that you need or want, or pace them out. Let me work my way out. But there's so many other fun things that just haven't got their due. And, you know, a lot of these reveals were really centered around, let's talk about the breadth of product that we want to make, and some of the more esoteric licenses that we're going to be making, because as collectors, once again, that's the stuff that we want. Like, we spent just as much time talking about Powell as we did the Muppets here right now. And clearly, for a lot of other people, for most people, they have no idea who Powell is at all, and they know who the Muppets are. Yet, you know, in our world, those things are on equal footing.
And I think that's something that's been fun about these announcements too, is that it's like, in a way, they've been from all corners, but in kind of like, if I'm getting like selfish about it, and in my kind of way, it's like, these are things that all, you know, mean something to me, and you guys just seem to hit those pretty well for this. So it's been an interesting thing to put, like you said, something like Powell and the Muppets next to each other, but it makes sense and it feels right already.
Yeah, At least for us, it does.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So, Electric Mayhem is kind of up first, and they're going to be coming a little bit later, as this is a tease too. But this is another one where I could spend several hours just thinking about possibilities. So I'm going to try to just take it as it comes at this point.
Yeah, the Muppets can go on forever.
Yeah.
And they should.
And hopefully they do. Exactly. Yes. All right. Okay. Well, then a little something too. And this one was great because you guys did a little bit of a tease announcement with, I have to say, your tease for this was wonderful, but it did take me back to like one of the most traumatic film experiences of my childhood. So
it is.
First, I had mixed feelings about it, but as soon as it was like, "Oh my God, we're getting Roger Rabbit figures," I was over it. But yeah, that first dip scene, man, that hit hard.
I think for anybody, they're like, "Whoa! You did not need to go there." Like, I thought this was going to be a nice movie. What's going on?
Yeah.
But this is also one I think that for us, we really had a lot of internal discussions about that. We felt it was important.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the vacuum that exists outside of here with Roger Rabbit, it was like, does anyone else still care about Roger Rabbit? It was an interesting for us, because when we were getting ready to bring it out, we were like, same thing. It's like, will anyone buy a weasel? Like, we know they'll buy Jessica Rabbit. Like, look, we're not dumb, but Roger and Judge Doom's great, but it's like, are they really going to buy a weasel? Like, I don't know. Is anyone really going to care about Roger Rabbit at all? And then yet when it came out and we announced it, everybody seemed to be very excited about it. It's just interesting. Like, you never quite know. There's definitely times that you make product and you're like, oh my God, I'm so pumped on this. This is going to slay. Yeah. And then it's like, and then there's other times you make stuff and you're just like, I don't know if there's anybody for it, but we're just going to make it. And all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, I've been waiting for that. And this definitely seems to be falling into that category.
Well, a couple of things with that is that I am the guy that is out of all of these, because they're all a lot of fun, but the two weasels, that's what got me the most were those guys as well. But the appeal of it, I think, is one of those things that has made me never really think about Roger Rabbit, because I've always kind of thought that, gosh, with all of the different characters and properties and whatnot that are in that movie, that's got to be a real ball of wax to try to get through, and as far as licensing and things go. So it's one of those that it's like, oh, that'd be cool, but I never really gave it much thought because I wasn't sure how possible it was. But
it's not the simplest of processes.
Yeah. But this is great. Mine, I mentioned right before we went live here, is that I got the shipping notice for mine about 10 minutes ahead of this. So I'm excited, but man, I got to get in your ear and say, those weasels, man, we got to have all of them. So.
Yeah, well, you're missing the straight jacket weasel. There's Benny the Cab.
Yeah.
There's, where's Eddie Valiant? Is it Eddie drunk? Is it Eddie with the oversized gun?
Oh, those bullets, Eddie, man. The bullets.
The bullets. Oh, right. We've been sleeping,
Yeah.
All that. Yeah. And, there's a lot of little details in these figures that are really cool. Like, Jessica's dress on the card is foil stamped. Her figure itself is in,
isn't that like clear glittery
glitter?
Yeah, that's glitter. What I thought. Okay, I saw Yoko had some in hand, and I thought I was picking up on that when she was showing them off. Yeah,
and there's some fun stuff here. And then and then we're gonna now that people seem to like them, we're gonna finish working on series 2 that we kind of started and kind of weren't sure on.
Well, that's definitely exciting. And like I said, the weasels are my guys, number one, because I think they're hilarious in the movie, but they kind of have their origins back in like the Mr. Toad movie, which is like one of my big Disney ones anyway. So it's like, I've got something there now. So that's cool. And gotta get those boys. So fun, exciting. And it's great that they'll be here in like just a couple of days too.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. See, it's not all teases. Some of it's just like, bam, there we go.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. Okay. There couldn't be a more natural segue from talking about Roger Rabbit to Ron Swanson. But again, it just feels right with this one. And I'm saying it again. Wow, I didn't expect this, but holy shit, I want this.
Yeah, we got to treat yourself.
Yeah.
And this is another one where definitely, I know Parks and Rec, but there's people here in the office that like loved Parks and Rec. And so they were really driving, who we were making, what we were making, how we were doing it. And it's another one where you go, okay, now you're talking about a very modern property.
Yeah.
So how does that translate in the consumer's mind when you put it on shelf? And that sounds weird to say, but like when I'm talking about Roger Rabbit, I'm talking to, 8-year-old you.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm talking to Parks and Rec, I'm talking about you from like a couple years ago.
Right.
Is that desire or that
me.
emotional attachment or that need and want the same?
Right.
And it's an interesting thing to sort of go through. And then ultimately with this, like I said, there's a couple people here that are just so into Parks and Rec, it's crazy. And, I was just like, we'd sit down with it, but I was like, what would you want more than anything? Don't tell me what you think the customer is going to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what you want. And they're like, oh, we got to do this. And I'm like, okay, then that's the stuff we're making.
Yeah.
We're not worried about like, tell me who the most popular character is.
Right.
Tell me the moments and the things about it that you play over and over in your mind. That's the stuff we need to make.
And that was something I was going to ask specifically about, because this is one of those licenses where it's like, okay, well, just the characters as they're presented, sure, it's that character, but they wear modern clothes and whatnot. It's really those moments and the craziness and the things that everybody remembers that to me feels like it fits being able to capture in plastic here, just right as far as that goes.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, okay. I know this is another one that since it was just a tease, we're probably going to be seeing more of it soon. But I think
Parks and Rec is fall. September-ish.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Well, that kind of fits with the graphic that you used here. That feels fall to me, but I'm excited to see how that is blended into a line or things where, as you said, have a lot of built-in nostalgia for being older, and having this as a more modern one fit with that stuff should be a lot of fun.
Yes,
and
it is definitely a lot of fun.
It's gonna be a packaging challenge, I would say, though, to include all the bacon and eggs with Ron Swanson, but I'm sure you'll get as much as you can.
We'll figure that out.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to jump over to your Instagram page here to pick up on a couple of these other ones here, because this was another one right here that I saw this and I was like, Series 2, here we go, because you updated that Series 1's in tooling and things like that, and then the people to delete floppy disk going into the back of the head hard drive, something that I don't know. Have you guys been able to elaborate on that in the past as far as this design goes? Because
no, you can have his back of his head covered.
The hood's always covered the head, right? So this has got to be the worst Series 2, right?
I would assume so. All signs point to yes if I'm holding the Magic 8 Ball, right?
Yeah.
It says Valentine's Day will be the worst.
Yes, and that is Monday.
That is Monday.
Yeah.
So Monday is going to be the worst. Yes, and there's a robot, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
People to delete.
Yeah, so robots that might, kill people or
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I love that this is something that you guys can go with as you go along, and having reaction versions of a lot of these characters, and then Ultimates can pull out new and exciting stuff for this. But I got to ask, and if you don't want to tell yet, I mean, that disc has got to fit there, right? Does it fit?
Oh yeah, it
All
fits.
right.
You can put the disc in the disc drive.
That's
Come on.
that's lovely.
What kind of company would we be if you can't
well, and I was going to say, we've touched on this before, having it being, your own homegrown property here, but it's just got to be so much fun getting these into a different style of product, and being able to kind of just go with it as you go along, as far as creating new details and attributes to these characters, right? It's got to be a blast.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun of just sort of like, oh, in this format, we can get a little crazier. So what would those things be? And where do we want to sort of twist it around? Like, with Robot Reaper, that's a soft goods robe.
Yeah.
So you have to design the entirety of what that robot looks like. So what does he look like? What's going on? Like it's interesting because it almost becomes an editorializing moment almost, because it's like, what does the floppy say? People to delete is a pretty funny phrase. So you're still having fun with it and making it playful, but it's still going to be much more kind of badass.
Yeah.
An ultimate, there's just a lot of fun. And, Josh has done such a good job with this character that it's,
Well, it's kind of a fun, the people to delete disc is kind of a fun riff on, the character itself, because yes, we know Reapers and what they do, but I mean, it's a robot. So computers delete, so yeah, it's not lost for sure. So I'm just seeing the back of his head right now and getting such a kick out of it that I can't wait to see the rest of this dude and whomever might be joining him. But Monday's not that far away.
Monday's not that far away, and he is bringing a friend. All
right. Well, exciting, because I know you guys are working on that first series as well, and so already having the second one lined up. I'm excited. I'm here for it on Valentine's Day.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, but another one I kind of want to skip here. This was really more of an update that you guys provided. Is that, oh man, I've gone and watched Robin Hood with my girls a couple of times since this too. They are imminent. Series 1 of Disney Ultimates, correct?
They are on the water. They're actually on the water a little while ago, because I mean, it's middle of February right now. Well, not quite. I mean, it's the 9th, or is it the 9th or the 10th? I can't even remember anymore.
Today is the 10th. It's my mom's birthday. It's the 10th. I remember that.
Happy birthday, Mom.
She'll want me to say she's turning 40 this year. How about that?
The math doesn't work, but
the math doesn't work. No,
math doesn't work, but I'm okay with it. They actually got on the water, in late January at some point. So they've been on the water for quite some time. They turned out so good. I know that I'm supposed to say that and whatever, but as we've talked before, Prince John from Robin Hood was the one where I was like, I don't care what else we do.
Yeah.
But figure number 1 is going to be Prince John. Then we'll get to Mickey Mouse or whatever. But we're going to make Prince John. And, obviously this photo, the box is up and we're shooting underneath the head, so you can't see into his eye. But this figure turned out so good, and the robe is so nice. Like, I'm whatever. I'm obviously going to be the guy that goes on to every interview and tells you how much I like our stuff, but all 3 turned out great. But the Robin Hood it sends me back.
Well, so I am so excited because I'm a bit of a Disney mark too, but also, when you guys showed the prototypes and all the photography for that, when they went up for solicitation, they look great. I mean this in the best way possible, that, man, this final product looks better than prototype, and it's usually the other way around. Right?
Yeah. It's what do they say about it? It's like, it's like nothing's ever as good as the first date kind of thing.
Right. But I'm glad these are coming home, because I'm excited.
I was about to say there's so much stuff on the water right now that left before CNY between this, Thundercats 1, Thundercats 2.
4.
There's 4, yeah, 4 left before 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Like, and then I think another Turtles wave got out. There's so many Ultimates finally arriving. It's crazy.
Well, towards that, and I was going to hit this before we went. Kudos and thank you for this page, because I think the reaction to this page was just as great as a new announcement, because this is a wonderful resource that you guys recently put forth, being able to track the progress of Ultimates and some reaction too. This is a great page, so I'm glad you guys added this for sure. Makes it every time I talk to you, you're not having to remember things just off the top of your head, right?
Yeah, which I should know, but at the same time, it's also one of those things where, you got those guys like, what's going on with that thing from like 8 years ago? It's like, that shipped 6 months ago, dude. Like,
yeah,
here, like, what's going on with this? Check this anytime that you want. We keep this constantly updated.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are like, you never deliver anything. I was like, please put down, at first it was just what's in process. I was like, please put down what's already delivered.
What's done. Yeah.
So that we don't have to hear those comments.
Well, it's kind of a fun way to track the history and what's out there, and what's already been out there too. So
I'm looking, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. If it's this box, it's not this box. Never mind. I was gonna show you the test shots of 2001. They're crazy. Okay. They're so cool.
Wow.
If you got 2 seconds, how much time do we have left? We got 16 minutes left.
Yeah, we got the time.
I'm gonna go to the other room.
All right.
Hold on. You can do like some sort of like Mickey Mouse counter on here. Like
I'll just keep scrolling through this, because if you haven't had a chance to view this Ultimates pre-order status page, it is on the Super7 website, and if you come over here, it's underneath the news section on their main page. But as you can see, into what Brian was talking about, Disney Wave 1, it's ocean freight on the water now, so that should be here soon. Some of these other ones in various levels of production right now, but if you get down into some of these things, like TMNT, oh, there he is, and when you show that, are you going to be a forearm and hand model moonlighting too at some point? Is that you?
No, that's Fisto.
Oh God. Of course.
Of course. Here's the craziest thing ever, if you're ready for it.
I'm ready. Oh, a big giant block. What is it? What is that about Monstar height? Bit taller than that?
I think it's huge. Hold on.
I got to have your forearm up there so I know.
I'll give you a better scale. Like, hold on.
Dang. 2 scale.
That's a monolith.
Yeah.
Monolith.
2 scale.
Yep.
You're almost out of the top of the view there. It's so tall. Yeah. Wow. So are those tooling models then?
These are first test shots.
First test shots. All right.
So these are plastic.
Wow.
They are very rough, but they are plastic.
Cool.
So anyways, because I saw 2001, I was so excited, because when we got this, Josh Snyder was just like, oh my God, how crazy is that? And then,
yeah. Keep one of those on like the nightstand, just in case somebody breaks in, because it's going to be big enough to take them out. That's exciting, but lots of things in process and in progress, and a lot of things getting ready to hit. So I wanted to say I really like this page, and thank you, and we appreciate the updates for this to have them on hand.
I think it's great for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then they even link to the Fwoosh.
I know.
Just look at that. You got.
We are.
I'm sure somebody called you out on that too. Like, oh yeah, great dude.
They're going to now for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, this is a great resource. So thank you. I feel like maybe if we get a chance to follow up not too long from now, we can talk through some of the stuff that is on there and as it progresses through. But that wasn't all the Disney
It wasn't all the Disney
that you updated on.
Sorry, same thing like.
Oh, the itchy robot.
Yep. There's all sorts of test shots hiding up in here.
So there stands to reason there's a Bort license plate somewhere kicking around there at this point now.
There should be, yes. So yeah, and then as you said, yeah, some classic Disney.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're throwing back to the shorts, the Silly Symphony kind of stuff. Yeah, same thing. It's like, what do we want to make for Disney? It's like I know what some other, what's the obvious answer? Like, what's the less obvious answer? Like, and this is where we kind of want to go with it.
It feels like this ReAction execution with those shorts, it's a good marriage, right? And because like most things, as soon as you showed these, I was like, all right, I got to get these. And then I start thinking about even how these would work around like holidays and things like that with Lonesome Ghosts or Pluto's Christmas Tree. It's like getting those looks that are not the standard iconic looks, but that are memorable from those shorts. This is just a fun combination together here, and the card backs are killer.
Yeah, they're super fun.
Yeah.
Super fun. Like
these look like they're not too far away.
No, they're not too far away. They're not too far away. It says available. I'm like, what did we say here? I'm like,
soon. Available soon.
Available soon.
Soon. Yeah.
I don't have the calendar up in front of me. I want to say it's March or April.
Cool. Well, these are, you get those core characters, but in looks that aren't instantly like, oh well, we've had toys of this look before. So this is like I said, I think this is a really good combination to put them together at this scale and in this series. So I can't wait to see everything. You make them of everything, of all of those original shorts, because I think those mean a lot to a lot of people. And for someone like me, I'm rediscovering a lot of them because of like Disney Plus and things like that. And my kids are discovering them for the first time. And I mean, these are cartoons older than some of them are older than their grandparents. And so they're relevant, and they're getting into, the minds of a lot of people again. And this is a fun way to support that.
Oh, completely. And, like I said, I'm sure that there's some people like Super7's doing Disney. Here comes a bunch of dumb Mickey Mouse stuff. And it's like, well, actually, there's a lot of not dumb Mickey Mouse stuff to be made. There's a lot of really fun, cool stuff. And that's, like I said, we're trying to make the versions of these characters that we want to have.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're going back to Silly Symphonies. We're going back to the shorts.
Yeah. This is great. And hey, you know what? I like my Beastie Boys as much as I like my Misfits, as much as I like my Mickey Mouse. So there's a place for all of it.
Definitely.
ReAction too, because the longest played out movie over the course of the run of the golden age of The Simpsons is the McBain movie. And okay, I know you guys have The Simpsons. I know McBain is hilarious. I know it seems like something that should happen, but again, I didn't see this one coming and having this like kind of in like a compartmentalized wave of ReAction playing out the McBain.
Yeah, it's McBain the movie.
This is great.
And the SCOE card is got bullet holes die cut in it.
He just retired, man. He just retired.
There you go. So yeah, it's we were just like, once again, what's a different tweak, a different twist, something you haven't seen, what's interesting to, and we're just like, it would be really hilarious to do McBain the movie and make like a movie poster backing card for it.
Yeah.
And same thing. And then the Simpsons were like, yeah, that would be funny. Like, go ahead, do it. And we're like, all right, but they've got to come with guns and there's going to be blood.
And bullet holes.
That took a little while. It took a little while.
Yeah.
We got there. Like, Scully's got to have the bullet holes in them.
Nice, Scully. I can't imagine how many McBain tropes were, audibly uttered when this was
All
put
day
together,
long.
because I don't know. It's like, because of, the internet and YouTube and whatnot, seeing the supercut of all of those McBain commercials and trailers put together. I mean, it forms the narrative of like that entire, movie essentially out there. So this is a lot. This is cool.
Yeah, and next week.
Next week.
Man,
next week. I'm all right.
Yes.
I'm gonna have a bullet riddled SCOE.
Well, this is another one of those where, it's for sale next week.
Yeah.
It showed up. I mean, it means we were seeing test shots and stuff on this, middle of last year. What would have been San Diego last year? We're looking at test shots of McBain, and we're just like, oh man, like.
Well,
it feels like it's been forever, but at the same time, we're like, no one's even seen this yet. This is crazy.
Well, and that's crazy, because I understand talking about this stuff, you've got to do like a little time traveling back to the past now to all of our present, because you're out there living in the future right now. But
I'm living in late 23, early 24 right now.
Ooh, wow. Well, as a fan of Golden Age Simpsons, and I know there are a lot of them out there, this is unexpected, but definitely appreciated and absolutely hilarious. And I didn't pick up on the fact that those were actually die cut bullet holes in there, but I think you just got me down for 2 SCOEs because of that.
Yeah. Riddled with bullets.
Yeah. Okay, well, we are close to time here, and I figured that this was the good one to end on, because you guys kind of ended on this as well, because you've been talking about it for a while. I know this one means a lot to you and other people who do some great work at Super7, but we are seeing Godzilla beyond the little Shogun teaser now, and this looks like it's getting real fast.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Godzilla is what we started on. Super7 issue 1 in 2001, and issue 2 was a 2-part article on the history of Godzilla toys, specifically Japanese vinyl Godzilla toys, but Godzilla toys. And one of the first exclusives we ever made. I mean, the first 2 figures that were ever made by Super7 was a recolor of the 54 Godzilla by Bear model in clear gray, and one figure in conjunction with Club Daikaiju that's not even around anymore, of Gorgo. So we've been making Godzilla toys, especially in Japan, forever.
Yeah,
and finally now we're getting to bring them here and do Godzilla here. And, we're going to do some of the, obvious stuff, but we're also trying to do some weird stuff, even from the get-go.
With the 57, man, that's a deep cut.
Yeah. And that's just it, where it's like, there's so many people, like, even in the comments, like 57, like, what's that? And it's like, no. Break out the old Google
mystery.
Google it up, and try to have a lot of fun with this stuff, and try to do stuff like I want to make. I mean, very clearly, I'm going to try to make everything from every corner of the Godzilla universe. There is so much stuff to be made. It doesn't always get made. It has been at times, and I just trying to have fun with it and really go crazy. And that's why even in the first wave, we're like, US 57 Godzilla. Like, no one's got that. No one sees it coming. And if we are finally making our Godzilla toys in America, for an American audience, I'm going to bring this weird American deep cut into wave 1.
Yeah, I'm definitely a Godzilla fan, but I've got a couple of friends who are very, 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 very much Godzilla fans, and even them, it was like I showed this to them, and they're like, "What?" And then, oh, really? Right? And they couldn't believe it. But yeah, this is a fun assortment, and obviously, this would be counted as wave 1 of ReAction.
Yeah, that's wave 1.
Yeah. And these are
waves and waves and waves and waves of this, theoretically speaking.
And working probably across your executions too. ReAction, maybe some other ones as well, right?
I like making Godzilla toys.
Yeah. Every one that we can think about.
Well, that's what the next slide is, I think.
Right here. Yes, sir.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
That is packaging for a super cyborg.
Yeah. So right.
And obviously we're not seeing it here, but all the panels come off.
Ugh.
The chest, the arms, the legs, you can see it's head to toe cyborg.
Man,
it's bonkers. Now this is late in the year, but I mean, we've got an output in the other room on it. I mean, this thing is bananas.
Yeah.
The team did an insane job on this. Mondo specifically was the one that was sculpting this, and it's like, and he got in there and moved in and spent time on this. It's going to be one of the coolest Toho figures ever, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see this one for sure, and just because this is your spot, where you're going to take us, because like I said, 57 Godzilla in the first ReAction series. If that's an indication of where this is going, it's going to get crazy.
Yeah, and like I said, this one's pretty amazing. Like you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5 Roman numerals.
Yeah,
that's like, here's all the parts that come off this thing. You'll be able to take off the entire outer armor of Mechagodzilla to see everything inside. It's
awesome.
It'd be awesome.
Awesome, exciting stuff, crazy stuff all over the place. Shows us some stuff, leaves us wanting more to see more of them in the future. But I would say it was a pretty successful Super 7 days of reveals. So I know you are busy and you guys are working on a lot, but thank you so much as always for taking your time to chat with us.
Of course we could talk forever, and we're running right. Everybody on this is, what do you mean he had a time schedule? She's like, I gotta go right to the.
They got you booked.
Another meeting.
They got you booked.
Got me booked, but it's always great to speak with you. And thank you again to everybody that paid attention or watched. We're going to try to have a lot of fun this year, and hopefully you enjoy it too.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we'll get to catch back up with you later. But Brian, thanks a bunch. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
All right. Later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.